So instead of just giving Michelle the satisfaction of knowing she was right and you were texting another woman, David would rather look like trash. He would rather look like an F boy. He would rather get his family involved. He would rather disappoint his parents. He would rather disappoint, like, what? What? What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We're here to talk Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 13, The After Party. Now, I know I said I was going to do the After Party all this season, and I have yet until now, all right? So if you guys are brand new or a returning viewer that is not yet subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, leave your comments down below. We got some goals this year, y'all, and we hitting them milestones, okay? If you haven't already subscribed, I appreciate it here in the family and all that good stuff. Let's talk about this though. All right, so the after party is featuring Juan, Madison, and David. I said having David and Madison on there, shady boots. That is a choice. Okay, but David's hair is upsetting to me. He went from the control to like the ram bullhorns. I didn't like anything about it, but whatever. As we all know, the after party has a cocktail, and it is called the Return to Cinder Sour. Okay, it sounds like a whiskey sour to me, but whatever. So we start off, let's talk Juan, okay? Juan needs facial hair at all times because that facial hair gives him that zhuzh that he needs. But Juan said that Carla is not giving him any pushback, with him kind of wanting to take it slow and not being very physical with him. And I think that's great. Far too often we see on these shows where one person is further along physically, and when that other person is not, reciprocating what they want, they do have a tendency to either kind of push them or start to resent them. So kudos to Carla for having the emotional intelligence to not kind of push Juan to a point where he's just not comfortable with, okay? So Juan said he was trying to figure out Miss Diane, why she came in that pink nightie, okay, and in her lingerie, and why, if she had panties on or not. I said, oh my God, her snatch was open. Miss Diane. Oh my God. Y'all know, if y'all watch my recap, y'all know how I felt about Miss Diane. Okay? Miss Diane, I thought was inappropriately dressed. Okay? So Juan said that she wanted to go deeper and get more sexual and do all this extra stuff. And he is so glad. He is so over the moon excited that, because they were on TV, they had to cut it. Okay? So we then get to David. All right. Now, y'all know I love me some Keisha Naipulium. I think Keisha, honestly and truly, Keisha should be hosting the reunion because not only does she ask the questions that we want to know, but she has a way of digging deeper and getting to the root of the issue and pulling the truth out of people in a way that Kevin Frazier just cannot. I think that Kevin gets a little biased. Keisha has not been biased with these people, okay? So Keisha asks David straight up, are you cheating? David says no. I said, that's a lie, and you know it's a lie, but whatever. He then says, okay, so maybe I stepped out emotionally. Now, we all know, okay, we are all people of a certain age. We all know that a man cheating emotionally is 1,000% worse than a man cheating physically, right? An emotional connection, emotional cheaterization, okay, as Trina Braxton would call it, is not good. So he then said that he has not fooled around with anyone else, while at the same time looking out the corner of his eye at Madison. So he feels that Michelle just wanted to know just to know. And Keisha was like, so why not just be truthful? And David does not think that Michelle deserved the truth. Now, look, here, time out here, okay? If David feels that Michelle does not deserve the truth, he's entitled to how he feels. But it comes at the cost, David. It comes at the cost of people now looking at you sideways. Because, David, now I'm looking at you sideways. I've been rocking and rolling with David this entire season. But there's something about being man enough to just admit, yes, I meant to send that to another woman. You know what I mean? It doesn't make the cheating better. I don't condone cheating whatsoever. And I know in my comments from this week's video, y'all are saying, it's okay. It's not a real marriage. Michelle is mean to him. No. Two wrongs will never make a right, y'all. Ever. Ever. It doesn't matter if you feel that because it's on TV, it's not a real marriage. No, they are signing a marriage license. They're signing a marriage license. If you don't have the wherewithal within yourself to go 2 months on this show without reaching out to somebody else outside of the person that you decided that you wanted to marry, then that's a problem. That's a problem, right? It just makes me question people like, y'all are really in the comments, Kermit the Frog typing to defend David. Hell, none of us like Michelle, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And David is wrong, y'all. David is wrong, okay? So he says that behind the scenes that Michelle is giving off the vibe that she doesn't care. And I'm like, here's the thing now. David, if you know and if you wholeheartedly feel that Michelle does not care, pack up your suitcase and head on back to the basement. I don't get this. Y'all have had every opportunity, time and time again, to say that this makes today my decision day. And you haven't done that, David. So it is very hard for me to feel sorry for you and to be on your side when it comes to this and you're looking for attraction and you're looking for a connection outwards because you are choosing to stay with her. You're choosing to stay on the show. So Keisha's like, okay, fill us in on what's happening behind the scenes. David said, bet, let me tell you what happened. So we were talking about nails. Apparently Michelle went and got her nails done. And he was like, oh, where'd you get them done at? She said Soho. For whatever reason, David is like, yeah, I used to date a girl there. Why did you need to say that? Why? And I feel like, and what I think David is doing, I think the fact that David is mentioning all these women is because he wants Michelle to know there are other women out here that want me. You may not want me, but somewhere else, somebody else does. There are women out there that do want me. That's what David is doing. It's childish, but it seems like he's trying to do that whole maybe if, okay, so y'all know how some women don't like a guy until another woman likes him? I kind of feel like that's what David was hoping happened with Michelle, but it had the adverse effect, right? It didn't work out that way. So Michelle asked him, girl at Soho, oh, is that who you're texting? He said, no, you can ask my cousin Denise. Once again, bringing Denise into this unnecessarily. Why lie on your family? That's what I don't get. Why not use like a random friend? Why would you say Denise? That is wild to me. So then Michelle, I guess, responds back to him and it's like, oh, well, I could care less. I could care less. And it's like, for one, the phrase is couldn't care less, because if you say I could care less, that means there's a lot less that you could care. Words mean things. Y'all know how I feel about that. But I just kind of feel like, I guess, this entire situation does not make sense. I don't agree with anything David is doing. To me, nothing that David is saying really makes sense. So David then admits that, yes, he could have handled the situation better, but he let his anger get the best of him. And I guess my thing is, what anger do you feel that you had the audacity to have? You text her. This wasn't anger, David. This was embarrassment. Right? David was embarrassed, or maybe it was anger. David was angry that he got caught. But David, you really had no place to be angry. You sent her the wrong text, right? She called you out on it to your face. See, it would have been easier if she would have texted back, so then David doesn't have to look at her and he has time to be like, oh, I just saw the text message, whatever the case. She called him out to his face. He had to think of a lie. The fact that she wouldn't let it go is what bothers him. Interesting. But David said he let his anger get the best of him. Juan said that what David is doing is deceitful, and it is. Juan then said that, but you know what? David came in with an open heart, and it's hard to judge the situation. It's not hard to judge the situation. It's not, because right is right and wrong is wrong. It's very simple. So Keisha said, look, I'm doing my best not to judge you, David, okay? She said, but she also believes in being accountable for your actions, as do I. So Keisha asked David, are you still in this marriage? He was like, I guess, 50-50. It's a very yes or no question. Either you want to stay in this marriage and try to work it out, or you don't. And considering that both you and Michelle don't, I don't understand why y'all won't just say, we don't want to move forward with the wedding anymore. I know a lot of people feel that production are in these people's ears. I think people are setting their eyes on money, and that's what it is. You can leave the show. Excuse me. You can leave the show. I don't get this. I don't. David said that he's spiraling because he's, not getting what he really wanted, and he put his heart into this, and it's been rejection after rejection after rejection. Well, David, your only requirements that you wanted were blonde hair and blue eyes, and that's what you got. And that's what is holding you to Michelle. Because I 1,000% believe that if Michelle looked a different way, David would not be putting up with this. Yeah, you did come into this with your heart on your sleeve and all that type of stuff. And I 1,000% believe that David didn't come into this with a good attitude, and he was open to the relationship. But I think David is also tolerating a lot of Michelle's disrespect and a lot of her rejection because of how she looks. You should have been upfront with her and honest with her a long time ago that it bothered you that she called you broke, that it bothered you that she said that, oh, wear this because it makes you look slimmer. You could have been upfront about that a long time ago, but you chose to sit and let her disrespect you. You chose to sit and let her disrespect you time and time again because that's the blue-eyed, blonde-haired woman that you wanted. He said he's not even getting a friendship, so why are you still here? I can't respect somebody that stays in these marriages. These are legally binding contracts that stay in these marriages, but if they're not getting what they want, they just decide, hey, I'll just go and step out. Like, why are we excusing that? Why are we condoning that? It doesn't matter whether or not Michelle is a bitch. That doesn't give David license to go cheat on her. Because if David is texting somebody that, he's doing the act. He's doing the act. I have never gotten a text like that from somebody that I'm not, getting it from. You know what I mean? So we then talk about Madison. So Madison was triggered by the word transactional. Okay. I did not hear the word in the recap, okay? I didn't hear the word in the episode. So I still 1,000% believe that she was more offended by party girl than transactional. And this is why. You're not going to be offended by something that you're not doing, right? You can't call me a hooker. I know that I'm not out selling ass. So I'm not going to get all hot and bothered about that. Madison was more upset about party girl because that's what she does. She is a party girl, right? So Madison goes on to say once again that, people would see her and they're like, oh my God, you're spending daddy's money. Stuff like that to me is just not the end of the world. I buy a lot of designer shit myself, right? Perfume, shoes, purses, all that type of stuff. I have had people say to me before, oh, must be nice. Oh, did your parents bought you? Like, I've heard that from people before growing up. I've heard that. To me, it's not a big deal because I know that I buy my own shit. I'm not going to be offended by something that I know is not true. And I understand different people are different and people handle different things in different ways. But I honestly believe Madison is offended about Party Girl. So Keisha was like, so where did you go after this conversation, right? Madison said, oh, I went in the hallway and called my friend, and then we went out and I stayed out to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was with Keisha. Do you think that helps? Think about it. If you just get done having a conversation with somebody and they're telling you, I thought of you as a party girl because of the way that you were on the dance floor, the vibe you give off, whatever the case, and you're offended by that. So your answer is right after that argument to go stay out until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? Ding, ding, ding. Is the elevator not going all the way up? Come on, Madison. So when Keisha tells her, Madison is like, well, I wasn't at a club. I was at a bar. Club, bar, nightclub, lounge is all the same thing. It's all the same thing. You keep your ass out of the house until 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning when you're married, Madison. Let's not forget the very first night that they got back, Madison went out with her friends. Madison is the one that Dr. Pia had to point out that Madison prioritizes her friends over her relationships. Madison is the one that talks about how she likes to hang out with her friends and she likes to do this and she likes to do that. Madison, you give off the image of a party girl, sis. You do. It doesn't take away from your education. It doesn't take away from what you have accomplished in your professional life, but you do party. So y'all have an argument about this and your response is to go do what? Say it loud for the class. Party. So she now understands it, but do I think that Madison cares? No. I think what Keisha said went in one ear and out the other. Because in Madison's mind, going to a bar for a couple of beers is not a big deal, and it's not. It's not. Hell, I'm getting ready to go to the bar right now for somebody's birthday. So it's not a big deal, but I'm also not going to be out till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I think that that's something that Madison has struggled with in the past and she's still struggling with now, but it seems like Alan is the only one that has called her out about it, and a lot of times people just don't like when the truth hits them in the face. They just don't. Of course, David is like, well, hearing that, will trigger anyone, hearing that. And I'm sorry you had to deal with that. I said, I bet you are. I bet you had your ass at the bar with her too. I bet he did. Whatever. So David then says that in regards to his cousin Denise, that Denise sticks up for other women and like she don't take bull. So Denise was upset that David not only lied but put her in the middle of his relationship troubles. So he apologizes to her. He now has to face his family and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, you apologizing to everybody but Michelle. Y'all know I don't like Michelle, but I believe in giving people their just due when they deserve it. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like David doing what he did is not a big deal because I don't like Michelle. No, David was still wrong. Let me know what you guys thought about this. Do you guys think that David should have just, because you're admitting it now on the after party. How do y'all think David should have handled it? Do you guys think David is justified in saying that, oh, it's, Michelle doesn't like him, so that's fine? How do y'all feel about Madison being upset about being called a party girl and then going to be a party girl 5 minutes later? If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, thumbs up the video. Traders will be up in the morning. Love is Blind cast reveal coming this weekend. And recaps on Harlem. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.